Welcome back to Scott's Car Stuff. Let me just finish stripping this tyre and we'll have a chat about rubber for the Brumby. Eagle-eyed Sam commented on a post I made during the week about me buying the rubber for the Brumby, and he said, but aren't Brumby tyres 13 inches? And yes, he's right, Brumby tyres are 13 inches. The tale of woe, the sad tale that I had to tell was that I bought the wrong size tyres. I now have the correct tyres. The 13 inch 175/70 R13s. Why that size? I didn't want to get too wide a tyre because Brumby's obviously manual steering, no power steering. The wider the tyres, the harder it is to steer on the road. So I wanted to make it fairly light. I think originally they came with like a 155 width tyre or a 165 width tyre. So rather than going crazy at a 185 or even bigger, I thought I'd go for the 175, which looked pretty good here on the spare, which I just mounted up. The other part of my tale was that I tore the bead on this trial fitting it, because I'd forgotten how to fit tyres. So I fitted it to the spare and it's holding air, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let's get on and I'll fit the rest of these tyres on the new wheels. If you've got some precious wheels, you can get the tyres fitted to them with the wheel upside down. The clamps that grab the wheel have got a plastic cover on them, and rather than damage the face of the tyre of the wheel here when you fit the new tyre, you can have it fitted up the other way so that all of the abrasion or potential damage to it can be done on the rear side. Of course, you've got to remember to put the writing on the right way. If you've got BF Goodrich's with the writing on the white writing on the outside. I'm looking for the red mark for the valve, and it does not appear to be one on this tyre. The red mark is there for balance, so to make it easier to balance. These not having one and being so small, I assume it really is not important. this is an automatic tyre fitting machine. There are a number of mechanical aids to help you do it. On a larger tyre, they're pretty easier to push down and to get the tyre around. On the spare that I've done, I was able to do that without too much trouble. Sometimes the bead won't seat when you're trying to pump it up. The carousel, the table, has also jets that blow up into that area on the rear of the wheel. These wheels are too small to go over the top of the clamps when they're in as far as they can go. So what you do see is sometimes guys putting the air on and spraying some flammable liquid and setting it on fire. But when that happens to the rest of us, we use the Bead bazooka. Watch your ears. And the bead's on. So there are the wheels, the tyres fitted and wheels balanced, ready to go on. But before I put them on and drop the car on the ground, there's just one undercar job I need to do, I want to do. So what's the final job before I put it on its wheels? Well, not the final job, but you understand. Well, what it is the sloppy shifter. So this is the shift lever. The shifter lever that you put your hand on goes through here. It's on a bush, goes into a pivot at the bottom. This sleeve goes over the actual shifter shaft that goes in the gearbox. The problem that develops is that this is held in place on that shaft by a roll pin, and that wears on the shaft and you get sloppiness to the point you can't get reverse, and then you're in a bit of strife. So what's the fix? So the fix is to cut through both sides of this with a thin angle grinder blade, fit a bolt and clamp it tight. So my plan is, so that's an M8 bolt. Is to use that. That is an M8 drill bit. That is a 9mm drill bit. So is to make sure that the 8mm fits, cut down the side of here and fit that and fix the sloppy shifter problem. Here you can see that the shifter lever back on the selector shaft, that was the word I was trying to recall, with the cut in it, the bolt going through it and holding it together. Wayne, you'll have to excuse the rust proofing that's on the gearbox and that mount there, and we'll give it a go. So I've done the shifter, let's try it out. Oh, absolute magic. Awesome. See you later. Oh, the wheels. And there we go. The wheels are on. It's back on the ground. That's my finger. How does it look? Looks good. Does it look a bit high at the back, low at the front? You know what that means, don't you? We're going to have to do those front struts. So, I've come out this morning, finish up this video, take the Brumby for a little test drive around the yard, and here's a good reason why you don't leave your battery connected, or you leave it on a trickle charge. What's it saying? Less than 1 volt. I had about 2.5 on it before, after I've been on the jump starter, but that battery has collapsed. Could you recover a battery that's dead flat? Probably at 10 volts. In my experience, you can get it back. This one, at 2 or less than 1 volt, it's history. So, got a new battery. We're going to give that a go. So, got the Brumby going to just go for a quick drive around the yard to prove that it works. I'm pretty happy so far with the shifter. That's awesome. Really positive into reverse, whereas before it was really quite vague, is being kind. So just driving in 2-wheel drive, just want to hear, given that all of the CV shafts are in, if I can hear the diff or anything grinding. Something's a bit squeaky. So going to give it a go in 4-wheel drive. Something's squeaking on the left-hand side. It sounds a bit like the tin cover on the back of the front rotor. I can't see anything at this point, but I'll get it back in the shed and we'll have a look at that later. But I'm going to go into 4-wheel drive low, see how 4-wheel drive is. It's 4-wheel drivey. Squeaky. Anyway, thanks for coming along this week, and I might take a breather and do something simple like the rear tonneau cover. Cheers.